Welcome back to Bending the Narrative. Each week, we dive into Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series. While you can find our overall thoughts on the season in our first episode, throughout book one, we will be discussing in further detail how each episode compares to its live action counterpart. Kate, let's start with you for these two.
So we see Heibai in the spirit world for like 2 seconds in live action, serving no purpose. They never help him. He never turns back to a panda.
Nope.
They maybe do the acorn thing. Does he?
I don't think so.
I don't even think that happens. These whole 2 episodes are completely mangled.
They're so different. Well, because like the one, they don't help. I mean, they get into like spirit world stuff, which is important because you do have to do that.
Yeah.
Right? And they establish the spirit world stuff. But one, they decide to bring Katara and Sokka into the spirit world.
Yes.
Which is weird. And they also bring in Ko, the face stealer, into this episode.
Which makes no sense.
As opposed to like having the problem be Heibai, which is a choice. And so they just don't.
Which was the problem.
Yeah,
that's why he went there.
And they just don't resolve that. They're like, no, it's fine. We can just not deal with that. Like, we'll get the people back and we'll do the face stealer stuff, which was not in this. He's not even in the book, right? He doesn't show up until book 2, if I remember correctly.
I don't even. Why? That's my only question. Why? What is he doing?
Yeah.
And like, why does Aang know? Like, how are we as an audience supposed to know even what that is? He gets explained in the animation by what's his name? The waterbending avatar.
Karuk.
Karuk, yes.
Yeah.
He gets explained by him like his face got stolen. Or his not his face, his lover's face got stolen by the face stealer. And he's like, he explains like, if you show emotion, your face will also get stolen. Which did you ever watch it? Well, you didn't watch it as a kid, but as a kid, I remember watching those episodes that come later on about the face stealer, and I would try to also not move my face or like when you try to hold your breath in underwater scenes.
While they're underwater. That's
while they're underwater.
I mean, that's a sign of something like working well. You know, when it gets that reaction out of you.
Like, he's scary, and in live action, he's just gross.
It's funny. I'm looking at my notes for the live action version of this episode, and one, it's all part of the reason it's so mangled and so different is because like we spend half of our time in this episode with Azula and Ozai in the live action version.
Yeah.
Who like Azula's obviously not in the animated series until season 2, so there's that, and it's just funny. In my notes, I say so many things. I'm counting like 5 different instances of me being like, X, like insert thing is whack. Like
whack.
And it just
his hair,
one of the other
whack. His shorts, whack. Everything about him, whack.
I mean, it's true though, because they use the spirit world episode in the live action to introduce as many of the spirit world things as they possibly can at once.
Like, way to overwhelm us.
Yeah. And there's a reason they don't do that in the animation, because you don't need all. It's like give the audience what they need in the moment. We don't need all of that stuff yet. There's a reason they took their time to get with it, to get a lot of that information until later on. Another big thing is that we see, I'm blanking on his name now, even though we had an entire segment titled after him in the last episode, but the owl, like we don't, we see him.
Wanti. Shit.
See, Wante Shaw.
Why do I want to say it doesn't come out? Wait, it's right here. Wan Shi Tong.
Yeah, we were flipping them.
We were so close, yeah.
Okay, but like he shows up in the live action version in this episode.
And it makes just no sense. Why is he just... It's like they enter this forest, and this forest is just where all the spirits chill. Like they're not spread throughout.
That's not even where he is in book 2. Like he's not in the spirit world, he's in his library. Like it's not. I mean, like he gives us information that's in a vein similar to like getting exposition information about the spirit world and things of that nature, kind of, but they just saw spirit world and were like, lore dump is what we can do.
Lore dump is a great way to explain that. We don't even get any of... They miss all the plot, and instead they shove in First of all, Gyatso? What are you doing here?
Yeah, that whole thing was weird. And
that's another of those things where I'm like, I get it. I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I get the emotional hook of it, and especially because, well, one, this is the other problem though. I get the emotional hook they're going for, as in like Aang's gonna see him there, and like they're gonna have the conversation, and Gyatso's gonna give Aang what he needs to know for the moment, and then he'll be like, "We'll talk more when you get back," and Aang leaves, and like obviously he's not gonna be there whenever Aang comes back to talk to him, because of course that's what you do in the story. Like it's one of the like 80 moments in the show where I was like, I know exactly what's gonna happen next, or what's gonna happen in relation to this, because they're the most obviously telegraphed storytelling 101 moves that you could possibly make, and it's like, no, that's not what's great here.
What is that screenwriting book that everybody has to read? Save the Cat?
Maybe. I was thinking, there's a different one I'm thinking of.
They need to read that.
It's just like they continuously go with the obvious choices, and they're not good. They're not.
Yeah, because they're obvious.
Yeah, and it's weird. I mean, I will say, so the plus side that I'll give the live action episode is that the spirit monster looked visually cool. Code, like his VFX was awesome. Looked great.
You did a great job.
Yeah, Ko looked awesome, terrifying. Shouldn't have been there though. Like he didn't need to be there yet. The spirit monster, while he's cool, they don't solve his problem. Like he's still just there wrecking stuff and mad by the end of the episode. They literally give him no resolution, which is the entire point of that episode, is finding the resolution for him, right? And so we don't get it. I have another note that they do narration to cap out the end of episode 5, so the Spirit World episode for the live action one, where they just narrate.
It's Iroh.
Yeah, and it's just narrating, like telling the audience.
This show does not need a narrator.
Like it's just telling the audience how to feel, and then they do it for the next episode as well. Like it also ends in them like giving a narration that's just telling the audience how to feel
of like, and like what's happening. Yeah,
and it's like, well, I know, I just watched the episode. Like you don't
literally. I was like, I was there for that. Did you not just see me there? What?
Yeah, so like all of that stuff, the Spirit World thing just gets completely mangled, and they lose the plot as far.
And we
as
have this whole, now the Spirit World is all about Katara and Sokka. And it's all about them, because Washi Tong says something like, truths will be revealed that humans aren't ready for. And it's like...
Yeah, they just turn it into a trauma flashback episode.
A trauma flashback. Like, it's like the truth is like, oh...
You got to confront your trauma, which like again is like the most obvious storytelling thing that you could possibly do. And like the most generic thing that you could turn the Spirit World into is like, oh, once you get in here, which like... It's again to them like missing the point of the Spirit World, because a big part of the Spirit World is that it will react to your emotional state when you're in it and like reflect things in that way, which it's like they took that and were like, oh, we can just use that to like show the audience their past trauma and then try to like reconcile with that, which is like you're like halfway there, and the fact that like you do need to like reconcile with yourself and like even yourself out emotionally and spiritually, and like that's how you're able to survive in the spirit world. But like we didn't just need to use that as like flashbacks for Sokka and Katara to
which make no sense, because we get that already, or that, I mean, can be said, like we could be like, yeah, like
which I might just be like
right there
erasing something from my memory, but I don't think that we ever see Katara's mom be murdered in the animated series, and they just show that.
We don't see her get murdered, but we see her like protecting.
Okay.
Katara,
so
and her saying, "It's me, I'm the waterbender."
Okay. So they do bring that scene into the like live action thing, and so like I get wanting to include that,
happens
but it's
way later.
Yeah, it's a weird place to do it though.
Like and the audience isn't ready for that.
It's again just a weird thing of like taking because like the Spirit World episode in the animated series is about Aang figuring stuff out, and he does it in the live action show because of his conversation with Gyatso, but like not, which again is like you're taking it away from Roku and like that connection that he'll have there.
He's supposed to have a huge connection to Roku.
Yeah, which just
that's
like
his past life
happen in there, and it's like, okay, I guess like instead we can do it with Gyatso, even though it's really powerful. The last time we see him, we like don't see him really. We just see his bones. Like that's a big thing. And
Yeah.
so it's like there's just all the choices just cascade into like, well, they did this, so they have to do this. And it's weird that they decided that way, which I just don't get. And
And I don't know if
then
it's just me like not being able to watch these episodes, but I swear I'm like watching them and they say so many things and so much happens, yet I'm still like, what is going on? I can't
yeah,
follow this.
it's they're very weirdly, especially the live action Spirit World episode was very weirdly structured and paced,
Yeah.
which is hilarious considering we were just talking about the fact that the animated one is
The
paced and
animated show is
structured
paced
so
so
well.
well.
Like
And
the
that's why
live
like
action
I think
one.
that's why I'm so angry because it's like why would
Yeah.
you take something that's perfect
Mm-hmm.
and just make a worse version of it? Hey Aspect listener, enjoying the show?
Then be sure to subscribe here on The Aspect so you never miss an episode.
And check out more episodes and clips on our playlist here.
Thanks so much for watching, and
Lamio Hotman.